Welcome back to ABC General Hospital channel. Today, we're diving into a whirlwind of drama, romance, and power struggles in General Hospital. The tangled web of secrets, betrayals, and unexpected alliances continues to evolve, leaving fans at the edge of their seats. From shocking revelations about parentage to fiery confrontations in custody battles, the upcoming events in Port Charles are shaping up to be game-changing. One of the biggest bombshells centers around Brooklyn Quartermain's search for Cody Bell. What is she hoping to uncover? Could Cody be harboring secrets that shake the very foundation of what everyone believes about Sasha Gilmore Corbin's pregnancy? And as Brooklyn grapples with her own hidden past, will her confession to Cody change the course of her relationship with Dante Falconeri? Let's break down everything happening in Port Charles and explore how these dramatic turns could reshape the lives of its most beloved characters. Cody's confession, a shocking revelation about Sasha's baby? As Brooklyn Quartermain searches for Cody Bell, she may find herself entangled in a deeper mystery than she expected. Cody, who has been carrying a heavy burden, might finally spill what he knows, or at least what he suspects, about Sasha's pregnancy. The idea that Jason Morgan could be the real father of Sasha's unborn child has sent shockwaves through Port Charles. But how reliable is Cody's belief? Is he basing this on actual evidence, or is he merely grasping at theories in the midst of an already chaotic situation? Brooklyn, who has her own secrets weighing on her conscience, might find herself struggling with what to do next. As emotions run high, Brooklyn may find solace in confiding her own past regrets to Cody. Could she finally reveal that she gave up Dante's child for adoption, something she has kept hidden for years? And if so, what advice will Cody offer her? Will he push her to come clean to Dante, or will he urge her to bury the past before it comes back to haunt her? This revelation could have massive implications, not just for Brooklyn and Cody, but for Dante as well. If the truth about his child comes to light, how will he react? Could this send him spiraling into an emotional crisis, complicating an already fragile situation? Brad Cooper's over-the-top demands, a recipe for disaster? Meanwhile, Brad Cooper is once again stirring up trouble. Whether it's his involvement in the upcoming medical symposium in Miami or something entirely different, his growing list of demands is raising eyebrows. Brad has never been one to shy away from controversy, and his behavior could once again land him in hot water. Could his overreach lead to professional consequences? Or is this about something far more personal, perhaps a desperate attempt to mend his fractured relationship with Lucas Jones? The road to romance has never been easy for Brad, and according to General Hospital Spoilers, he's heading for even more setbacks. Will his latest misstep push Lucas further away, or could this be the beginning of a long-overdue reconciliation? As Brad's plans unfold, fans can expect plenty of unexpected twists. Will his ambitions lead to disaster, or will he somehow find a way to turn the situation in his favor? The custody battle intensifies, Ava versus Christina in the heated legal battle for custody of Avery Corinthos. Tensions between Ava Jerome and Christina Corinthos Davis are reaching new heights. Christina is unwavering in her stance. She refuses to believe that Ava has any chance of winning this case. But Ava isn't one to back down easily. Having already crossed lines she can never uncross, she's determined to fight for what she believes is right. Meanwhile, Rick Lansing has entered the picture, making things even more complicated. Ava's conversation with Rick suggests that their past encounter, the one that led to an unexpected kiss, may have left a lingering impact. While Ava tries to brush it off as if it never happened, it's clear that the moment cannot be undone. The chemistry between them remains undeniable, and their next move could send shockwaves through Port Charles. But for now, Ava and Rick are focused on a different challenge, their plea in the custody battle. If Ava succeeds, it could change everything for Sonny Corinthos and his daughter. But if Christina has her way, Ava will walk away empty-handed. Who will come out on top in this fierce legal showdown? Curtis versus Drew, a dangerous rivalry elsewhere in Port Charles. Curtis Ashford believes he has the upper hand in his ongoing feud with Drew Quartermaine. Confident in his schemes with Nina Reeves, Curtis feels as if he's playing a few steps ahead. But is he underestimating Drew? Drew has never been one to play fair. Time and time again, he has proven his willingness to sink lower than anyone expects. Just when Curtis thinks he has control of the situation, he may find himself blindsided by Drew's next move. Could this be the beginning of Curtis's downfall? Is he overestimating his ability to manipulate the situation? Fans should brace themselves for another power shift as these two relentless men continue to battle for dominance. Kai's anger spirals out of control. Meanwhile, Kai Taylor's frustration reaches a boiling point, leading to an explosive confrontation with Trina Robinson. While Trina believes she's trying to help, Kai refuses to see it that way. Kai's career-ending injury has left him feeling lost, and the anger simmering inside him needs an outlet. Unfortunately, Trina becomes the target of his outburst. While it's possible that Kai will realize his mistake and apologize later, the damage may already be done. Could his inability to control his emotions push Trina away for good? Or is there a deeper story beneath his frustration? One that neither Trina nor the rest of Port Charles fully understands yet? Dante's desperate search for answers. As Dante Falconeri struggles with the devastating loss of Sam McCall, his grief is compounded by frustration over being kept in the dark. Desperate for answers, Dante turns to Anna Devane, demanding to know if he's being deliberately locked out of Sam's murder investigation. Anna, always careful with information, may find herself caught between withholding key details and Dante's relentless pursuit of the truth. But will she reveal anything about the growing suspicions surrounding Cyrus Renaud? With Dante so determined to get to the bottom of things, he may soon uncover secrets that put him in even greater danger. Laura's insight, Lulu's lingering love for Dante, and finally, Laura Collins is picking up on something that Lulu Spencer may not even realize herself: her lingering feelings for Dante. Lulu may believe that she needs to stay silent, fearing that this is not the right time to bring up her emotions while Dante is still grieving. But Laura's wisdom and guidance could prove invaluable in helping Lulu navigate this difficult situation. Will Laura encourage Lulu to confess her true feelings, or will she advise patience, allowing Dante the space he needs to heal? Either way, Lulu's love for Dante is far from gone. And as their paths continue to cross, the question remains: will they find their way back to each other? Final thoughts: what's next for Port Charles? With so many intertwining storylines unfolding, General Hospital fans are in for a thrilling ride. From shocking confessions to unexpected alliances, the stakes have never been higher. Will Brooklyn finally reveal her past to Dante? Can Ava outmaneuver Christina in the custody battle? Is Curtis underestimating Drew's cunning nature? And how long will Dante remain in the dark before uncovering the truth? Next, we unravel the latest heart-wrenching developments in Port Charles, where secrets, regrets, and long-buried truths threaten to shatter lives. Tension is at an all-time high, with shocking murders at General Hospital, a custody dilemma brewing, and devastating confessions hanging over key relationships. Brooklyn Quartermaine is at a crossroads. Should she finally tell Chase the painful truth about her past? If she does, it would mean confessing to something even more earth-shattering: that Dante Falconeri fathered a child he never even knew existed. Meanwhile, emotions are running high as Jason Morgan finds himself caught in a dispute over Sasha's unborn baby, while Dante wrestles with the unbearable grief of losing Sam McCall. With so much turmoil unfolding, let's dive deep into each of these explosive storylines. Brooklyn's devastating secret: can she finally come clean? Brooklyn Quartermaine has always been a woman who walks the line between ambition and self-preservation, but now she faces the hardest decision of her life. She tearfully confesses to her mother, Lois Cerullo, that Chase is mourning the loss of his dream of fatherhood, and she knows exactly how that feels. Years ago, Brooklyn made the agonizing decision to give up her child, a choice that has haunted her ever since. Until now, she has carried that burden alone. But the pain of keeping such a monumental secret is finally becoming too much to bear. She believes she owes it to Chase to be completely honest with him, to let him know that he is not alone in his grief. But telling Chase the truth means unearthing a deeper, more dangerous revelation. The father of her child is none other than Dante Falconeri. And worse yet, Dante has no idea that this ever happened. The idea of shattering his world makes her physically sick. Lois, ever the voice of wisdom, reminds Brooklyn that she and Dante were just kids at the time, neither of them ready to be parents. But knowing that doesn't make it any easier. How can she explain to Dante that she has kept this from him for decades? Brooklyn stands at a precipice. If she confesses, she risks losing everything. But if she stays silent, she may never find peace. Jason, Sasha, and the fight over her baby. Meanwhile, out at the docks, Sasha Gilmore Corbin is experiencing a moment of pure joy, one that's been rare in her tumultuous life. She excitedly places Jason Morgan's hand on her stomach as she feels the baby kick for the first time. But not everyone shares her happiness. Just a few feet away, Cody Bell watches the scene unfold, his emotions boiling over. He is torn between his own lingering feelings for Sasha and the unresolved tension surrounding Jason's involvement in her life. Before he can hear Sasha explain the truth that she and Michael Corinthos have agreed she will raise the baby on her own, Cody storms off, overcome with frustration. Oblivious to Cody's reaction, Sasha turns back to Jason, who, ever the pragmatist, insists that he needs to talk to Michael himself. "Are you calling me a liar?" she snaps, clearly exhausted by the ongoing dispute over her child. Jason doesn't doubt her words, but he knows Michael well enough to suspect that things may not be as final as she thinks. People change their minds, especially when it comes to parenthood. Maybe Michael had a different perspective when they last spoke, but now, with so many changes unfolding, he might feel differently. Jason wants to hear it from him directly. Sasha, tired of the argument, gives in. "Then go talk to him," she exclaims, before softening. She tells Jason to let Michael know she's thinking of him. Despite everything, there's still a deep bond between her and Michael, a connection that neither of them can ignore. As Jason leaves, one question remains: is Sasha truly in control of her own future, or will outside forces continue to dictate the fate of her unborn child? Dante's grief and Lulu's lingering guilt. Across town, Dante Falconeri is spiraling. The loss of Sam McCall has left him shattered, and it seems like every new development only adds to his agony. At the gym, Harrison Chase is relentlessly pounding the punching bag, lost in his own thoughts about his struggles with fatherhood. Dante arrives, his face grim, and drops a bombshell: Sam was one of the victims of a string of murders at General Hospital. Digitalis poisoning. Chase listens in stunned silence as Dante unpacks the horror of losing the woman he loved. "Sam did nothing but good," Dante laments. "She didn't deserve this." Chase, though processing his own turmoil, instinctively asks about Rocco. But Dante doesn't have an answer. He hasn't had the heart to face his son yet. Lulu knows about the murder, too, and Dante has already warned her against taking reckless risks. But will she listen? Dante's emotions are complicated. He appreciates that Lulu is still in his life, but her very presence reminds him of what he's lost. "I just feel like every time I look at Lulu, I'm gonna think of Sam," he admits to Chase. Dante's grief is raw, his pain immeasurable. But there's something deeper at play here, an internal struggle between the past and the present. Will his grief push him further away from Lulu, or could this tragedy be the very thing that draws them closer again? And as Dante continues his search for answers, one thing is clear: he won't rest until he finds the person responsible for Sam's murder. Final thoughts: a town on the edge with so many intertwining tragedies and secrets hanging in the balance, General Hospital is headed for some of its most explosive episodes yet. Will Brooklyn finally tell Chase the truth? And when she does, how will Dante react to learning he has a child he never knew about? Can Sasha truly raise her child on her own, or will Jason and Michael push for more involvement? Is Cody's jealousy about Sasha and Jason justified, or is he simply chasing something that was never his to begin with? Will Dante's grief drive him into deeper despair, or will it lead him back to Lulu? Port Charles is on the verge of some life-altering revelations. As these stories unfold, the bonds between these characters will be tested like never before. Next, we explore the unraveling secrets, heart-wrenching losses, and unexpected alliances that are shaping the future of General Hospitал. From shocking confessions to lingering grief, the tangled relationships of Port Charles's most prominent residents are more explosive than ever. Carly finds herself questioning Jack's motives and his former alliance with Valentine Cassadine. Meanwhile, Lulu wrestles with guilt and an old flame as Maxie urges her to face the truth about her feelings for Dante. Elsewhere, Alexis is consumed by grief as she struggles to process the brutal murder of her daughter, Sam McCall. With all of these intertwined storylines reaching their boiling points, the emotional and psychological stakes have never been higher. Let's break down the biggest moments unfolding in Port Charles. A tense night on the rooftop, Carly and Jack's twisted alliance on the rooftop of the Metro Court. The city lights glimmer below as Jack and Carly share a tense but intimate moment. Their passionate kiss moments earlier was electric, but Carly suddenly pulls away, needing a minute to collect herself. Jack, sensing her hesitation, immediately steps back, apologizing for misreading the situation. But Carly assures him he didn't misinterpret anything. Her hesitation isn't about Jack. She's just wary of getting caught up in emotions that might cloud her judgment. Jack understands. He didn't come here for a fling, he came because there was something much bigger at play. To lighten the mood, he leads her to the rooftop's cozy setup, a fire pit, champagne, and two perfectly arranged chairs waiting for them. Carly's eyes flicker with amusement as she takes in the romantic ambience. Jack raises his glass, toasting her for showing up and for finally giving in, even just a little. But the air quickly turns serious when Carly voices the question that's been nagging at her. If Valentine Cassadine was once Jack's friend, why would he want him dead? She thought their history meant loyalty, but Jack makes it clear Valentine was a friend once, and a good one at that. However, loyalty only stretches so far. Jack's voice hardens as he explains that Valentine assumed Jack was the one who set a hit on him, knowing just how ruthless he could be. And while Jack hadn't reached that level before, he is now. The rules of the game have changed. Carly, never one to let things slide, presses him for the full story. If he's no longer protecting Valentine, what was stopping him before? What secrets is he still holding on to? Jack sighs, running a hand through his hair, and mutters, "It's complicated." Carly smirks, raising her glass. "Then I'd say we need more champagne." Lulu's guilt and the confession she can't make across town. At the Metro Court, Lulu Spencer sits with Maxie, still reeling from the devastating news about Sam McCall's murder. She clutches her drink, eyes filled with emotion, as she whispers, "I owe her everything. My life. Raising Rocco. And now she's gone." Maxie reaches out, placing a comforting hand on Lulu's. She knows what guilt looks like, and right now, Lulu is drowning in it. Feeling guilty over something you can't control won't bring her back, Maxie reminds her. But Lulu's anguish isn't just about Sam's death, it's about the night she never got to say what was truly in her heart. "I love the man Sam was going to marry," Lulu confesses, her voice barely above a whisper. "I never stopped." Maxie blinks, caught off guard. She always suspected that Lulu's feelings for Dante never faded, but to hear her say it out loud? That's a revelation. Lulu explains that for her, the moment she was going to tell Dante she still loved him feels like it just happened yesterday. The tragedy of it all is that time moved on without her. Sam had taken that place in Dante's life, and now she's gone, leaving Lulu with feelings she has no idea what to do with. Maxie nods, understanding. "You're not crazy for still loving him," she says. "But that doesn't mean now is the time to tell him." Lulu doesn't respond, because at that moment, her gaze shifts across the room to Jason Morgan walking in to meet with Diane. A thought creeps into her mind. Should she tell him about Sam? Maxie immediately shakes her head. No, not yet. Alexis' heartbreak, grief turns to rage. At her office, Alexis Davis stares blankly at the papers on her desk, her body rigid with grief. She barely hears Diane Miller's footsteps until she's right in front of her. Diane doesn't need to ask what's wrong, Alexis' face says it all. Sam was murdered, Alexis finally chokes out, her voice shaking. Somebody killed my daughter. The words are like glass cutting through her throat. Saying them out loud makes it feel even more real. Diane, usually the strong and composed one, rushes over and wraps her arms around Alexis. But there are no words to fix this. There's nothing she can say that will bring Sam back. I want her back, Alexis sobs, the weight of her loss finally breaking through. And now it's worse, so much worse, because I know someone did this to her. The grief turns to rage in an instant. Alexis suddenly grabs a stack of papers and hurls them to the floor, the sound of fluttering pages barely registering over the roaring pain in her head. Diane takes a deep breath, carefully choosing her next words. Alexis, I'm here. For anything you need. Alexis lets out a bitter laugh. I don't even know what I need. Diane suggests that she stay over for the night, that they distract themselves with TV or wine, something, anything. To pull her out of this storm. But Alexis shakes her head. Molly and Christina are already on their way over, and right now, they're her only anchor. Just then, Diane's phone buzzes with a text from Jason. A business meeting. Alexis looks at her sharply. If he doesn't know about Sam, don't tell him.